Masjid Jamek, Kuala Lumpur, where the two rivers of Gombak and Klang meet. It was here where the first Chinese settlement for tin mining industry began, and it was here where Kuala Lumpur was first born. The area now is thriving with lively shops and restaurants, and is now one of the many hubs of the city of Kuala Lumpur.
If not for the tin mining industry and Yap Alloy, Kuala Lumpur wouldn't be what Kuala Lumpur is today.
The leaders of the Chinese community are called Kapitan China, as called by the Malays. He is a man assigned by the Royal Selangor Sultan. The first one in Kuala Lumpur is Yu Chu, the owner of mine in Lukut. Yet undoubtedly the most famous one is Yap Alloy, appointed in 1868. Kuala Lumpur raised during his age from a small village into a very lively town. In the 1870s, the Selangor Civil War erupted. Yap Alloy aligned himself with Tunku Kudin, which led in 1872 to Kuala Lumpur being captured and burned to the ground. Yap Alloy recaptured the city in March 1873, only the area was stuck in a stalemate till the war ended, with Tunku Kudin rising to power in 1879 and Kuala Lumpur being rebuilt. Yap Alloy worked his way into repopulating the town and establishing its growth, making way to a new railway station, Kuala Lumpur Station, which till this date stands as a heritage site and a beautiful landmark. In 1870s, the Malays drove into the city, making the positions mostly in the east bank of the Klang River. They built Masjid Jamek, which stays a very attractive architectural and historical masjid. Around the area of the central market, Bazar Seni, the Chinese mainly settled. They had their very own district around Jalan Petaling, or what is called now Chinatown, which remains of a very distinctive Chinese culture, with churches, Buddhist and folk religion worship places. The Indians later came with the urge of the British government. As labour workers, they established areas of their own, the Muslims to the north, near the Malays district, and the Sikhs and Buddhists to the south, just upper the Chinese district. The separation of these three ethnic races was encouraged by the British, as it looked they favoured the Chinese with the economic role in the development, silenced the Malays with the government positions in agriculture, and put the Indians into labour work.
It was unwise to educate the Malays extensively, because that they would end up as a class of people who had a little bit of education and weren't prepared actually to do anything very much.
The thing that widened the gap between these races. In 1880, the capital of Selangor was moved by the British from Klang to Kuala Lumpur, moving all the governmental offices and buildings to the west bank of the river Klang, in a position that is far from any civilian disturbance. The Banunan Sultan Abdul Samad was established as the main government house, and the Dataran Merdaka, where the Royal Selangor Club for government officials was made, along with the Parliament and the Istana Negara. The city continued its rapid development till the Second World War erupted, when the Japanese took over the country in 1941. During their rule, the gap between Malays and Chinese started to widen into a critical stage. They also started spreading the slogan Asia for Asians, only they surrendered the city to the British in 1945. After the war, the call for independence started to rise, with some radical riots and fights. Tunku Abdul Rahman started negotiating the British government for independence, and in 1957 the Declaration of Independence was held at the Merdeka Stadium, and the Union Jack was lowered in the Dataran Merdeka, where now it's a very important tourist site. The city suffered from racial differences, and in the elections of 1969, a tragic incident happened between the Malays and Chinese, with more than 190 casualties. Despite its suffering, the city continued its growth and rapid development, and in 1972 it gained city status, and in 1974 it became a federal territory, leading Malaysia to the modern civilization. Many landmarks defines the metropolitan city, as Masjid Negara, built in 1965 under the rule of Tunku Abdul Rahman, as a symbol for Malaysia's independence and unity, with a very attracting architectural design which reflects Malaysia's official religion and submission to God. Nonetheless, in 1999, under the rule of Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, the remarkable Petronas Twin Tower opened, dominating the world's tallest building till 2004, as a signature of Malaysia's development and as a sign for the center of this metropolitan city. In 1999, the seat of government was shifted from Kuala Lumpur to Putrajaya, only that Kuala Lumpur remained as the official capital of Malaysia and its business and economical center, driving Malaysia to the forefront of the modern world.
Kuala Lumpur to me is a living organization. It is growing. It's not just a city, it's not a city of bricks, it's a city of people. KL is not a city of bricks, it's a city of people. The people who make up Kuala Lumpur. They are the ones. They are Kuala Lumpur, not the building. The people are Kuala Lumpur.